Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back again. I got a technical hitch and I have solved it. So please welcome back again so that we can continue with our stream and we talk about this US election and what is going to happen. And thank you for those who are supporting my channel. So just as I have said, I had just finished with the immigration patterns which have influenced the American election. And also, I was also talking about culture, how culture or shifting way of life is also becoming an electoral issue in America. For example, long time ago, like 50 years ago, who you marry or how you conduct your sex affairs was not a public platform. But in modern day society, if you are straight or gay, it becomes a platform of association and people can start deciding on which electoral platform they can support based on that is cultural changes. Another cultural issue, which is also becoming an electoral issue, is on the perception of worship. Perception of worship is also becoming another issue. Uh, there are those people who do not want a religion to become a center space in politics. Whereas there are those people who believe that you cannot isolate God from them, and their beliefs in God, they are also to be taken into the political cycle. That's also another platform, is a change of culture. So the other issues which have also become other cultural issues which have also become key, they are the issues of uh, the they are the issues of marriage. Long time ago, maybe 3 generations from us, marriage was a bit stable. Marriage was taken as sacred, ordained by God. But in a postmodern society, marriage has evolved. Marriage has evolved purely on companionship and not all the other things. So companionship and maybe raising kids together. So again, those are the issues. So in other words, we call it family values. So family values have changed, and also the change of family values has become a dividing issue in America. How? Like how you take your kids, or how you discipline your kids, how you handle your kids, how you take each other, is becoming a political issue now. There are people who I can say they are hitting me. So there are there are so many things which so there is a lot to talk about when it comes to societal changes. Society polygamy. I think polygamy has never been an issue in America. Polygamy has never been an issue in America. So I don't think that one is I think they largely consider themselves as monogamous. Although you can end your marriage at a certain, I don't think that. I think that one has been that way for so long. Although in the past, many people have been having more solid home than now. So that issue of changes of family values is something now which is becoming key. Another issue which is also becoming key is the perception of immigrants. So now perception of immigrants is also becoming another issue. Moment. So, as I was saying, so those are now they are now becoming the voting issues in America, family issues. Another thing which we have also to agree on is now immigration. How do you perceive immigration? In, is immigration coming to help your nation or destroy your nation? It's now becoming a perception and a dividing issue on most parties. Uh, it's an issue to which people are talking about immigration. How do you want immigrants to come? Do you want a competitive process? Do you want an easy process? Now, when you look like in Donald Trump platform, they feel the process should be competitive. The other party believes that the process should be easier and people should just be allowed to come into the nation without a very robust system. So those are those are some of the issues which are happening. So there's a lot we can discuss here, and I'm really appreciative that we cannot be able to use this U.S. election to learn something. We need to learn something so that now we can catapult ourselves, or we can make our societies also to understand what is happening in America, because America is always a launch pad of uh, moral consciousness when it comes to politics. They have allowed everything to happen in their nation. So, and I think if you want to learn so many things, how people are coexisting, I think that's a place where we can learn a lot. So I believe even in like in Kenya, when it will come to 2027, we will have to understand like, or to conduct our politics with more policy. We have to look at issues with the policy rather than this dichotomy of just pangeni laini ni wapee. It's a very weak dichotomy. So it's a learning lesson. Nazunguka around in America, in the Midwest. We are collecting data with an aim of learning what is happening. We are even co-working with some of the political leaders here, so that we can learn how they have been conducting this democracy for the last 200 years. Because we understand it's a very serious hereditary system. Yeah, we meet with senators, we meet with the members of Congress, and we usually have a chat. So with an aim of learning from them, and surely you can actually see that the American democracy has really grown, and we can learn from it. So it's not like when we are researching from them, we are wasting our time. It's because America has benefited from one of the best democratic process ever designed in human race, and it has worked for them for over 200 years. And I don't see any problem in trying. It's not a must we imitate it, but at least trying to learn how they have been able to make the process, because you can understand. Kuna mtu anaita King State Jiro, si urudishe ile ya Mount Kenyan live. Okay, I will be deciding on that. So maybe in the near future we will do that. So for now, the hot thing in the town ni maneno ya Kamala Harris na Donald J. Trump. So let's first of all handle that, then future will do. So tutakuja huko with an aim of advising watu wa Mlima what to do, and we bring Mlima platform together with an aim of building a more inclusive society. Hatutaki pia sisi watu wa Mlima, the only thing which is bringing us together is sisi tunatoka kwa Mlima. Sisi tunatoka kwa Mlima. We now have to become more policy oriented. How are issues being solved? Then these are the policies. Then mimi ni wa Mlima. I would like us to handle it that way, because the amount of lies which has been perpetrated to us for the last 50 years are too much. And I don't think like Kenyans are available for another cycle of lies again. I don't think Kenyans are available. Kenyans are not available for another cycle of lies. And the only thing now which is available, Bwana King State, na nitakuomba you subscribe in our channel together and also share with your friends. Please tell Kenyans of all walks of life that no one is available for life anymore. We need a society which is evolving in the direction of transformation. So I was just trying to respond to you, na hiyo maneno ya mlima tunakuja very soon, we will be airing and mtuletea washirika. Sasa we are hoping that this one will be one of our platform where people will be able to come and exercise their freedom of speech. So thank you sana Bwana King State. You have said you're already a subscriber. Thank you. So unaweza toa maoni yako kule pande ya Marekani and let us understand how you wish. Do you feel positive? Do you feel like the world will become a better place after today? That is my plan. That is my hope. I'm rooting for the world to change. There are so many problems in our modern day society. Tuko na mashida mingi and we cannot ignore that. Economic issues has become global. When you're hearing Americans talking about economic issues, Kenyans are talking about economic issues, and even Chinese are talking about economic issues. So the issue of this war, there is war in Ukraine, there is war in Palestine, Israel, is an issue we want the global powers now to sit down and solve. So I don't know which commitment Kamala Harris is going to give so that war ends. Donald Trump has committed that he will finish that war on day one. I don't know how possible it is, but I think he has given insight that he is ready for that war to end. No one is interested in that war. So I think it's something we need to think for future. So yeah. So Bwana King State, I think you can wait for me on Saturday or Sunday. I will have like a 2 hours program nikiongea mambo ya mlima. So King State is telling me who is winning, by the way. I am rooting for Trump. If only he can shun Ruto. Wow, so you're wishing for Trump because you think, yeah, of course, Trump is an isolationist. He doesn't concentrate too much on Africa. And I think it has reached a time whereby Africa should be ignored, if I was asked that question. This over concentration of Africa by global powers is what is rooting people like Ruto. If Trump will become an antidote to Ruto, I think it's better for us. So I think he is not too much on neocolonialism, because we know neocolonialism is real. So King State, in that tone, I think we're in the same wavelength. I feel at this time we should have wars of changes coming to us. Wars of changes coming to us. A moment, please. I take a phone here. Don't go. So it's something which we can discuss about. So Trump 2024 is a workable thing. So Trump 2024. Trump 2024, maybe I can put that one there. Trump 2024. Let's hope it happens. 2020 was really a frustrating year for some of us. Aja Wambui amekuja, karibu sana. So there are so many things. which I think the winds of changes are blowing. Winds of changes are blowing, zinapiga. Unajua saa zingine hata ukikaa hivi kwa regime, pia unajua regime zikikaa sana zinamea pembe. Regime zikikaa sana zinamea pembe. So I think for me, if I was asked, it is better now for in America for now Democrats to lose, Republicans wakuje watengeneze kidogo. Sasa after some time pia walusi na wao ama Democrats warudi tena. Hiyo kurushiana mpira for me it is better. Unajua hata game kama mpira amrushiani, if the game is not, you are not fighting with your opponents and they win possession from you, you cannot score a goal, you cannot defend. So it becomes a game when you shift, and that is the only country which has been able to shift power from parties to parties, and that is one of the reasons why they have gotten that generational growth. Why? Because Democrats have some good things, they have some bad things. They come with their good thing and bad thing. The society benefits from those good things for a period of time. Then, after some time, kuna mtu anasema Susan Ongari, hi, do a live show with Shiro kwa channel yako, Trump all the way. Hi Angela. Sawa Susan Ongari, we will do that. Maybe tomorrow evening, we could come here to celebrate the results with her. So we will do that. So I will talk with Shiro to know about that. Sijui ako mrengo gani. Sometimes then, it's a time of to decide. Ni vile some of us we are better outspoken. We always say with the friends where we are supporting. Hata ikifika Kenya 2027, mimi sitakuwa friends sita. For me, like in Kenya 2027, any person who will oppose Ruto, akunjie kura yangu nimupee saa hii. That is who I am for 2027. Wewe kama unajua unasimama 2027 and you almost like you can beat Ruto na sijui jina, wewe kura yangu wewe ndiye napea. Is that serious? So Susan Ongari, wewe ambia watu wote wanasimama Kenya, kama kuna mtu anapinga Ruto, huyo mtu anapinga Ruto na anapata kura vizuri, huyo mtu anapinga Ruto sijui ni nani, ako na kura yangu. That guy has already one vote. Hiyo kura yangu ni yake. Is that serious? So we will do a show of what will happen today. I hope, regardless of what happened, with a lot of hopes that good things are going to happen, we will have a Thanksgiving session here, at least to come and thank God of what will happen, because we are hoping for a very good night today. So, but let's watch what happens. They want us to change. They want us to change. Hakuna atupendelei mtu yote. Ile kitu hapa tunapiga sera. Kuna vitu zingine, there are some things which we are not very happy of. So that's why we are saying now, I think the ruling political party can rest for a while. Even in football, if you play for 85 minutes and we are not getting a goal, we do a sub. And sometimes we can get these people we call super sub. Somebody comes into the game in the 83rd minute, and by injury time he has gotten 2 goals and he decides the game. So I think Trump could be that super sub. We will come and change the issues. I always hear people talking about his personality, like he's a big mouth, what. I don't know, but I have never met with him, so that I can analyze that with a big mouth. Some of these things they have been brought to me by some people, but from my own analysis, I see him as a person who is amiable. I see him as somebody who is easy to interact with. I always see him with people. He is golfing. I look at his social life. I saw his kids yesterday in their final rally in Michigan. The rally looked good. So I don't think he is a guy who cannot associate with. Cannot associate with. Yeah. In any case, I think there are so many things which have worked for him to reach at that level. I don't think he is as evil as people want to say. As we claim, no one is good. At the same time, I think we should also judge the people from where they're coming from. Uh, yes, I think he has also some very good attributes which we need them for now, which we can't lose. Because I don't think Republicans will ever get somebody like Donald Trump. I think this Donald Trump is unrepeating. It will be impossible to get. He could come. We can get a reincarnation of Donald Trump, but maybe it might not be in our lifetime. That guy is not repeating. Huyo jamaa arudi, like such a character, I don't think we will be able to see him again. Somebody who is so eloquent and he is unapologetic. He is unapologetic and he can share his views, and at the same time he is ready to change systems where they are not working. I don't think there are very many people like that. That's why even people in America say he's unique. I don't think even in American system. That is why he is a businessman and politician. Jamaa tu alitoka tu from nowhere. And always na ukifuata huyu jamaa he is very consistent. Unajua kuna watu hawajafuatilia story ya Trump. Kama hujafuatilia story ya Trump, ona video ya Trump from 1980. From 1980. Watch Donald Trump from 1980. The videos which he was doing with the anaitwa the videos he was doing with Oprah Winfrey. Yeah? The videos he was doing with Oprah Winfrey. Watch those videos and you will learn something. I don't know if you can get it here. Uh, Let me see if I can get it. Trump and Oprah. There was an interview where Trump was interviewed by Oprah and the guy. Let me see if I can share it here. You know, sometimes this is what actually taught me something about this guy. So watch this and tell me. And this is in 80s. Same person, same principles, unhinged, not changing. Let me see if there is.
You took out a full-page ad in major U.S. newspapers last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy.
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage. in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined. I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
Yeah. So that is Donald Trump in 1988 with Oprah. Sijui kama kuna mtu amesoma kitu hapo. In 1988, that it was around 42, no, it was around 42 years, 42, 43. 1988. You can. Let me put another video from just. You know, I want people to be consistent so that sometimes people can understand when we talk of when we talk of character, what we mean. You know, sometimes when it's not good to always listen or what the media tells you. Sometimes make your own analytical judgment and let me put this one. This this one is another video. Let me do this. He did it with Letterman again. Somebody can tell me what is it? Like there is consistency of this guy. I don't know where this hate from the media came from. It's unfortunate. I hope he will live to see better days ahead of him, whereby people can finally come and appreciate who he has been in life. He is not repeating. Let's see.
Guest claims to be back and better than ever. If that's true, why is he here? Please welcome to the program the always interesting, dynamic Donald Trump. Donald. Welcome to the program. Good
Nice
to see
to be with you, David.
You know, people have interest in you for a couple of reasons.
I can't imagine what that is.
Let's just get right to the stuff that people want to know about. First of all, are you solvent?
Well, I've had a hell of a year. I've had a good year. I had a miserable year last year, along with everybody else in the real estate industry. But this year has been, as you know, sort of from reading the New York press, a good year for me. And the politicians killed the real estate industry, and we've done great.
Now, see, I don't know what that means when you say the politicians killed the real estate industry. What does that mean?
1986, they passed a tax change, the 1986 law, which really, you look at what happened with Olympia, New York, and Reichman and everybody else, and it's big trouble.
They lost incentives. Real estate no longer became a good place to put your dough.
Exactly, and it's coming back strong now. And we've worked hard over the last 6 months, and I think we have really done a job.
Of course, now here in New York City, people may get a warped perception of how things actually are because the New York Daily News and the New York Post every day, day in, day out, they take stories like you and other popular kind of stories like that, and they just sort of jam it down everyone's throat. Well, now, were you ever near broke?
I was never near broke. I was having a good time, and it was a good year to get a divorce.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back. If you don't mind, what did you have to unload?
Well, I didn't unload. I sold things. I sold the shuttle. And
all right, the shuttle is no longer the Trump shuttle.
I unloaded the wife. I will say. Why did I say? Tell me, why did I say?
Yeah.
Although it was a good year to get a divorce.
That ought to cost you a couple extra million right there.
could have been a very expensive stage. And but it was a rough year for a lot of people, and I came out really great, and I'm very happy about it. The casinos are doing record business in Atlantic City. We're up, I guess, 75%, and they're just doing record business. And we just got certified on the west side of Manhattan for the largest development in the world, actually, called Riverside South.
And how many acres of land do you own over there?
It's 100 acres of land along the Hudson River behind Lincoln Center. And it's really a spectacular piece of land. And for 75 years, people have tried to get that piece of land zoned, and now we're going to do it.
And what kind of things are you going to put over there?
It's going to be residential. It's going to be studios. Maybe NBC would be interested. In fact, we talked to them originally about it. And tremendous parkland and waterfront property.
You know what I'd like to see over there?
What?
One of those water parks and maybe a go-kart track.
A lot of people would.
Water slides and then like a mile and a half go-kart track and stuff. It'd be great. Be a lot of fun.
A lot of people would like that.
But again, now I want to come back to this because for the reasons I stated earlier, people are interested, and the New York press kind of magnifies all of this. Were you ever really at a point when you thought, man, I'm down, I'm out, it's nearly tap city for me?
Well, I was at a low point about a year and a half ago. I was really in deep.
You ain't that rich, Don. You can't come on here and say that.
And it was sort of interesting. My wife was suing me for $2.5 billion, okay? And the day that I had the worst day of my life, about a year and a half ago, I had what's called a prenuptial agreement where if all else failed, and unfortunately I disagree with, divorce and everything else, but if it happens, it happens. The worst day of my life, bad story Times, front page, bad story Wall Street Journal, a year and a half ago. That was the final day that she said, I think I'm going to honor the prenuptial agreement. Give me $25 million. And I said, this is no time to be honoring that prenuptial agreement. But I did. And it was sort of an interesting turn of events. But it all worked out well. And, here I am.
I'm not sure I understand that last little thing, but let's go on to something else. H. Ross Perot, what do you think of this guy?
I think he's interesting. I think he's got a real shot. Again, I watched what happened with the real estate industry, done by the politicians to a large extent, and I'm very disappointed in the president for not having stopped it. The economy cannot come back unless the real estate industry comes back, and unless they put the incentives back into real estate. And the politicians are starting to find that. There's a lot of different things happening, and you could see some real movement in that. But I am very disappointed with the administration, what they allowed to happen to this industry. It fuels every other industry.
Okay, but let's get back to the question. H. Ross Perot, is he a legitimate candidate, a viable candidate? Could he step into the bureaucracy of the United States government and make a change, make anything work any better than it works?
I mean, he doesn't know his positions, and frankly, neither do I right now.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to see what happens. I think that he's certainly viable. He's got some great quips and some great I know him. He's a hell of a guy. He's a good guy.
Could you take him in a fight?
I think I could do.
Speaking of fights, explain to me now what you were thinking about the Mike Tyson situation. Shortly after the verdict was announced that he had been convicted, he was guilty of the crime, you had a plan. Now, what were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
I was thinking that as soon as he gets out, he's going to fight at my casinos.
Yeah, but you can't buy your way through.
Of course, I'm only kidding when I say that, folks.
I wish I could say that.
Mike Tyson was greeted at his door at 1 o'clock in the morning by a woman. He then.
Well, we don't need to go through the case again.
It's ridiculous. The woman was dancing at 8 o'clock, and this guy's in jail for 6 years. I don't understand it. I think it's wrong. I think.
Yeah, but due process of law prevailed. So
that you came one of the worst defense lawyers I've ever seen. This was the worst defense. I mean, their defense essentially was that anybody that goes out with Mike Tyson knows she's going to be raped, and therefore Mike Tyson, this is his defense. I think it was a horrible job they
Well,
did. in defending him.
everything you say may be true, but still in all, you can't come in and say, okay, let's put the decision of the court aside. Here,
didn't say
I have
that.
a plan.
I never said that.
Well, I think that was the impression people had of
David,
that.
What I said really is that Mike Tyson should fight. Mike Tyson should supply millions and millions and millions of dollars to rape victims. And I think that's a hell of a lot better than him sitting in a jailhouse for 6 years. Now, let him do some time, let him do some this, but this man could supply $30 million just from one fight. And that solves a lot more problems than keeping him locked up in solitary confinement doing nothing. I think that Mike Tyson had a horrible defense. I think
Yeah,
he had a horrible
but again,
defense
what
lawyer.
you're saying is that celebrities maybe should be treated differently than lay people.
And I say Mike should serve some time and everything else. But to keep a man, here's a woman that was dancing at his door at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We
dancing,
don't
but
need to
that's
get
an
into this.
important
We don't
thing.
need to get into this.
But that's an important thing.
Hey, don't get me hot, okay? You know I'm only kidding.
I know.
Hey, good to see you again.
Nice seeing you.
Thank you for your time. Donald Trump.
Yes. That is the Donald Trump who we always told is racist is what you can, and that is the prime one. You know, sometimes these are some of the things I watch, and I don't think you can even get very few men in this life you can get such a cogent message in their time when they're in their 40s and 50s. 1992, he was still a young person. He was talking about how you can even hear how he was talking about Mike Tyson. Putting Mike Tyson in the house is worse than taking him to a fight where he can even earn like $30 million. Like, it was for him. He was like wishing him well. These are some of the things you need to analyze by yourself, and sometimes when you see some of us, we have slowly taken keen interest on certain person, and you start thinking like maybe ni kama tumerogwa. There are such things which you have to analyze and ask yourself. So not everything which comes in the TV which is true. Sometimes it is, there is a guy called Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, the TV can actually make you to love the oppressors and hate the people who are being oppressed. He said that, Malcolm X. I don't know. He was perfectly right. Wow. Anyway, Musema kweli ni leo. I don't want to make decisions for people. I'm a highly moral person. I follow my instincts, and my instincts tell me that that is the person for the job. You know, when it comes to a time for choosing, you don't stand in the fence. You have to declare your stand. So I think we will keep on focusing on issues na mambo itakuwa mzuri. I don't think God will allow us to cry a second time. Hiyo ni ombi nimekuwa nikiomba. I have been praying God day and night. Please God, don't allow me to cry a second time. I cried in 2020. I don't want to cry in 2024. Because sometimes you understand the stakes which are in issues. Me personally, I don't take elections lightly. That's why even during Ruto election, I cried. Sometimes you might call me a weak man. But when I see the wrong person getting into hell, like my spirit is feeling that this person is the wrong person, I weep. Just like the way you can weep for a situation. The day when I heard like Mr. William Ruto has been declared as the president of Kenya, it was the worst day for me. I have never recovered. I still pray God hard that He will excite my heart with another good person. My conviction have never gone to that man. Even when pastors and people are lining up and saying that this is the man for the job, I was having another conviction. My heart was telling me, no, no, no. Anyway, but I'm happy. Slowly, what some of us saw, people are slowly gravitating there. It's not too late. So wacha tumalizane na hii ya Marekani tusome. Nimeona vile huyu jamaa, you have seen the way this guy was being mistreated by the state. 34 cases with a situation of kufungwa. So hii mambo yote alikuwa ameletewa to smear him, kumpaka matope. It was a crowd scare, kuleta watu ili utoroke. But inakaa watu walivumilia. And for your sake, by the way, I have heard this guy is having a lot of support in the black nation. And not forget that Kamala Harris is a black person. Even in the mainland black Africa kwenyewe, very many people are rooting for this guy. Very many people are rooting for this guy. I think many African instincts they are like feeling this guy could be helpful, direct or indirect. So Samoja, we will have a very long night tukihesabu all the 50 states. Too close to call. Hivyo ndio utakuwa nasikia makina CNN na Fox News wakisema. You know, in America they don't have an electoral commission. The media is so powerful that when an election is called by like CNN, the other liberal conservative media houses, they have a very small time also to make sure that they confirm and call that election for the candidate who has been declared. So I think most of the time the channel which calls out election most is CNN and MSNBC. So Fox News, Newsmax, they call, but sometimes they wait. But CNN is very broad in that, so you'll be seeing CNN will be very courageous in calling out elections for whoever has won that state. Especially when they have done the mathematics and they have seen that the remaining vote cannot outnumber the balance. They just call out the election. You know, you see, like for example, the difference. You have 56 and 44. Trump is at 56, Kamala Harris is at 54 in a state. And we are at 93%. Total votes which have come is 93%. So you can see if we have already gotten 93%, that is 7% remaining. And the difference between Kamala Harris and Trump is 12. So if the difference already is 12 and the remaining is 7, you just call out. That's the beauty of American election, because you cannot make up. So that's how they go looking. So sometimes the election can be called when all the votes have not come, because they look at it mathematically. So then there are also other states like Nebraska, Missouri, Louisiana. They look at the trend of votes. They even call that election even when it is at 20%. So they look at sample for all the counties within that state. And if they look in all the counties, the distribution is the same. They just call out that election for that state even without having even to reach 30% of the votes. Places like North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana will just be called for Trump. Even immediately they start tallying, it will be called for Trump. Places like Maryland, Rhode Island, Vermont, they will immediately start counting, they will call it for Kamala Harris. That's how they do here. So that's how the process is very quick. So there's nothing like collecting every state. So there's a state which they will not even, the counting will be very fast, and immediately they start already, those electoral college are shifted to the candidate they know has to win there. So the concentration is usually on those 7 swing states where now every legal vote has to be counted as they started saying it. So I don't know now that every legal vote, if they have a concept on it. Anyway, thank you. I will stop there for now. Nimeshukuru sana wale wameungana na mimi. If it is so pleases you, please share my channel to another person. Tunaendelea kutafuta subscribers. I will be regular here. Na pia wale watu mlengo wa Kikuyu Mount Kenya region, will also come with your show soon. So guys, tafadhali kujeni jioni tufanye more analysis. Until later in the day, shalom. I hope that was good enough for now. Let's meet at night, the election night, the night of big decision, the night of big stake, and we analyze how the votes will be coming. The analysis of the big map, that's how we call it, the analysis of the big map, 50 state maps, and we collate it. Thank you, and Jane Modoni, nimeshukuru sana, and majority of the friends who are here, because I treat you as friends, continue subscribing my channel. Tutajenga hii jukwaa pamoja. This will be, maybe to confirm, this will be one of the platform tutapiga Ruto Mbakora hapa. So be prepared to come and do sane politics here. So we will be talking and enjoying good, well thought political instincts. Hii station yetu ni station ya kufuata instincts, sio station ya kufuata sijui nini. No, we will be following our instincts. What is our mind telling us? Is this thing right? Kuna emotions hapa, tena kutumia machozi, mnachagua mtu sababu atamekuja kwa kanisa kulia. Hiyo story tumemaliza. We have to be serious with our life. We cannot be auctioning our kids the way we did it in 2020. I said it here. If you are 18 years and above, you choose the life which a 4-year kid will live. If you are 18 years and above, you choose the life which mtoto wako kwa mimba ataishi. So please, if you are choosing hell for yourself, don't choose hell for unborn. Don't choose hell for underage. If you are choosing hell, don't choose hell for sick people and the people who cannot go and do the same decision you are doing. That is why political decision has to be sane. Thank you.